I was witness to my whole family being murdered and there was nothing I could do about it. Whenever I heard that familiar sound of the door opening, I would get so excited. Molly had taken her two young sons to soccer practice, while I sat and waited patiently for them to get back. I was trying to keep myself entertained when the sound of broken glass caught my attention. Then the sounds of footsteps creeping around the house. A sense of fear washed over me as the door slowly opened and a masked figure crept into the room while whistling a creepy tune. There was nothing familiar about him which only heightened my sense of fear. The man in the mask walked slowly around the room, whistling in sheer delight as if the excitement of his intended goal made him giddy. "Perfect," I heard him say as he began to conceal himself behind the curtain. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him breathing deeply. It wasn't long before I heard the sound of the front door opening. The sound of the masked intruder's breath intensified as Molly came into the room unaware that someone was lurking in the shadows. She came over to greet me as she always did. I tried my best to warn her, but it was too late. The maniac was already behind her, slipping a steel blade in under her chin and slicing her throat. It didn't take long for Ben, the older of Molly's two kids, to walk in and find his mother holding her throat and gasping for breath. She tried to warn him of the danger that was still in the room and all I could do was sit and watch. He never saw it coming. The killer plunged the knife into his spine and then finished him off with a slice to the throat. Alex had gone to his room and had no idea the man who had just murdered his brother and mother was now making his way upstairs to finish what he started. Alex sat in his gaming chair, headphones blaring as the killer crept up behind. I couldn't see what happened, but the sounds that echoed through the house were much to go by. I was glad I didn't. After the killer was done, he came back to the room. The killer was careful to remove any evidence he left behind. He was very meticulous and knew exactly what he was doing. Before he left, he walked over to me and leaned down to me, lifting his mask and revealing his seemingly normal appearance. "It's funny, you're the only witness and you can't speak," he laughed as he turned and walked away. The heartbroken father eventually came home and discovered his whole world had been torn apart. He was inconsolable, a broken, tormented shell of a man, forever changed by the sight of his slain family. After a little nap, men in white suits came into the house to gather evidence from the bodies that were still laid on the floor. One of the men was whistling a familiar tune as he took pictures of the bodies. He took the camera away from his face to reveal, to my horror, the same man who had committed this horrible act. He turned to me and smiled. "Hey, little hamster, remember me? Do you want to hear something funny? I'm going to make it look like Dad did it."